Now, before our next programme, we go back to the newsroom and Jan Leeming.
Within the past hour, the Ministry of Defence announced important progress in the battle to recapture the Falklands. British paratroops have retaken Darwin and Goose Green. Initial reports are that British casualties are light. In Argentine air attacks on the San Carlos beachhead earlier, 4 Marines and a Royal Engineer were reported killed and 20 more wounded. This is how the ministry's spokesman reported tonight's British success.
We have just learned that the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment has taken Darwin and Goose Green. The Argentine forces suffered casualties and a number of prisoners have been taken. Initial reports are that British casualties are light, and the next of kin are being informed. No additional information is yet available, either in Whitehall or in the service information centres. Please do not ring them. As soon as we have any information, a further announcement will be made.
The announcement of the seizure of Darwin and Goose Green has ended a news blackout which lasted 48 hours. The Darwin garrison was about 500 strong. The Argentine troops were dug in strong defensive positions to the north of the settlement and across the narrow isthmus in Goose Green. The importance of this action was twofold. First, apart from defeating a large number of Argentine troops and taking prisoners, it gives the RAF an airfield which can be adapted for use by Harrier ground attack aircraft. They can now be flown into the Falklands from the carrier force. Secondly, and more important, it opens up the vital southern route to Port Stanley. What this means is that the paratroops can now advance along this route to threaten the Port Stanley lines, while the commanders in the north can use helicopters to hedge-hop across no man's land to the northern flank of the main Argentine force. The Argentine commander, General Menendez, was probably hoping the Darwin force would be able to hold out much longer. That would have given him more time to stiffen his main defensive line. But Darwin, which is the Falklands' second main residential centre, is now in British hands, and the main body of the British force can now concentrate on the drive east. And at any time now, the 3,500 troops in the reserve force on the QE2 will be landed. This battle was the key to the British strategy to retake the Falklands. Its success means that the risks taken by Admiral Sandy Woodward, and in particular the Navy's prolonged fight to protect the beachhead, a fight which cost 3 British warships, have paid off.
The Argentine government haven't yet admitted the loss of Darwin and Goose Green. A short while ago, a spokesman said there had been a British attack, but he claimed it had been beaten back.
According to the Argentine government, far from having taken Port Darwin and Goose Green airstrip, they claim the British forces have been driven back. An official communique issued here within the last hour acknowledges the heavy fighting that there's been in the area today. Both the military sources and the official communique claim that the British troops have been forced to retreat and that Argentine forces have retaken all the territory they had at first lost to the British. However, the communique does not say at what time this so-called latest information was first known. And the final line of the communique says fighting in the area is still going on.
The View from Argentina. Newsnight will be giving more details of the British recapture of Goose Green and Darwin on BBC2 at 10 to 11, and we'll be back with the headlines in half an hour on BBC1.
And now on BBC1 we begin a series of stories from the supernatural. Leap in the dark.